If you've been flying fighter kites for a little bit, especially if you're relatively new, you probably have experienced some nosedive crashes into the ground with your kite. I know I sure have, many times. And I learned couple of things that I want to share with you that can really cut down on the frequency of that happening and hopefully preserve your kite for a lot more flights than otherwise you'd get out of it. Just two simple things to do to minimize the nosedive crashes that occur. And everybody has them, you're not alone here. First is the spine, which is the stick in the kite that goes from the nose to the tail, has to have a little bit of a bend in it. A rocker-shaped bend from about the middle of the spine towards the nose. That entire area should have just a little bit of a bend in it. And you can see if I press down on the tail part of the kite flat to the table, the nose is elevated off the table a little bit. In this case, about ½ inch, could be an inch. It varies. And it varies based on the flyer and how the flyer likes the bend to be. Because the bend not only will help prevent the nosedive crashes, it also influences other behaviors of the kite while the kite's flying. So you'll probably want to experiment a little bit with the amount of the bend that you put in your spine. Now in bamboo it's easy because you can just bend it and press it against your body, put a little heat on it, and it will stay that way. But a lot of my kites don't use bamboo, they use carbon fiber for the spine. And in this case, this kite has a flat carbon fiber spine. So there are many ways you can bend carbon fiber, but my favorite way, and really I think the simplest and easiest way, maybe that's why I like it, is to use what is called a tension line. This is simply a line that I have attached to the nose of the kite here, and it goes to about the middle of the spine. Now this line is adjustable, and I can change the amount of tension on that line to create a little more bend or a little less bend. But as you can see, the way it's set now, put my hand on the tail part of the kite, and the nose is about 3/4 of an inch, maybe a little more, above the table. Again, I can change that while I'm flying the kite and do some trial and error to find the exact amount that I like for the wind that I'm flying in at that moment. You can do the same thing. Pretty easy. You can do this also with bamboo. You can do it with any material, and you can do it with a round carbon rod for a spine or fiberglass, whatever you might use. This works. And the top line hitch is the knot I use that allows the adjustment. And you can see that, and I'll put a link in the description below if you're not familiar with how to tie it. It's pretty easy. Now the second thing to prevent nosedive crashes is something that's really anti-intuitive. It goes against what your instincts tell you to do. When a kite is headed for the ground, there's a point where you get this urge or this feeling that, oh my God, it's going to crash into the ground and break. The moment you feel that sort of urgency, let go of the flying line. Now your instinct tells you to pull on the flying line. All that pulling will do for you is accelerate the kite speed so that when it hits the ground, it's a more intense crash. You don't want that. So let go of the line. Let the line actually flow through your fingers as the wind pushes the kite away from you. What will happen is this: the kite, when it's coming down in a dive, when you let go of the line, pressure, the tension on the line is released when you loosen your grip. The kite will go like that, and the nose of the kite will be pointing upward, and that's when you pull. So the kite will come down and it'll go like this. It may rotate, might spin a little bit, but basically is also pointing its nose upward instead of downward. And once that nose is pointed up, that's when you pull on the line to give it more elevation, get it farther away from the ground, and then continue your flying. If you do those two things, your kite will last a lot longer and you'll enjoy flying a lot more.